Hello, back to the channel that knows nothing. I'm Jem. Let's get to it. So today we are doing the Do I Have That Book challenge, because I have a lot of books and we'll see if I can answer all these things. I'm pretty sure there's two that I don't have an answer to. The first question of this challenge is, do you have a book with deviled edges? And I do. It is the very first Unfortunate Events book, which is The Bad Beginning by Lemony Snicket. And if you don't know what deviled edges are, it means this. That's what it means. That took too long to focus. But yeah, I think that's what it means. Hopefully I'm right. Otherwise, I'm stupid. The next question in this challenge is, do you have a book with 3 or more people on the cover? And I do, and I didn't go for something super obvious like a fantasy novel because that has too many people on the cover. I went with something not so obvious. I went with The Love Interest by Cale Dietrich. Anyway, I found it when I was looking for an answer to that question, and it looks super interesting. 2 spies, 1 girl. Whoever gets her to fall in love with him lives. I have a sneaking suspicion it's gonna be gay, and I'm gonna love it. Do you have a book that is based on other fictional stories? I was a little bit confused with this one, so I picked this, which is the Grimm Brothers 101 Fairy Tales, because this is where stories kind of started, so I kind of flipped it a little bit. But I think that's what it means, because it's just like these stories have been told forever and in heaps of different ways, so that's why I picked this one. The next question in this challenge is, do you have a book that's title is 10 letters long? Why was that so hard to say? Anyway, I ended up picking Frog Kisser by Garth Nix, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're not counting the exclamation mark. The next question is, do you have a book that starts and ends with the same letter? And it took me forever to find one. It was really hard because not many books do that. Anyway, I ended up picking Obsidio by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, and it's part of the Illuminate series. The next question is, do you have a mass market paperback? And I don't believe I do, because those are the sort of cringy romantic novels that I don't really like to read. I know other people do, but I don't. And I don't think that's what, like, I looked up what the question meant. And I do have, like, popular paperbacks, but I don't have a mass market paperback book. The next question is, do you have a book that has 2 maps in it? And yes, I do. It is Six of Crows. Look, it does. It's ridiculous. I don't think I've ever seen, like, a map this detailed in like a very long time, but there's this one, and then there is this one. Woo! The next question that is part of this challenge is, do you have a book that was turned into a TV show? And I decided to go with American Gods by Neil Gaiman. I've heard some really great things about it. I have not read it and I have not watched it, but I really, really want to. But oh my god, look how big this is. And it's Neil Gaiman, so you know your mind is gonna explode. The next question is, do you have a book that was written by someone who originally wasn't known for writing, so they had a previous career in something else, and I decided to go with The Land of Stories by Chris Colfer, aka Kurt from Glee. The next question coming up is, do you have a book with a clock on the front cover? And whoop-bam! I have Timeless, Diego and the Rangers of the Vast Atlantic. Why did I struggle to say that? Anyway, you might be perusing the cover and be like, there's no clock on it. Oh wait, there is. Oh Christ, you can't see it because the camera's being weird. There. Why did that take forever? I don't know. The next question is, do you have a book of poetry? And yes, I have many books of poetry, but I decided to go with this one, which is Bloom by Boo Taplin. Really good. Insanely good poet and prose writer. The next question in this challenge is, do you have a book with a stamp on the front of it? And I'm not sure if it meant like postal stamp, like cover art, or if it meant like award stamp. So I decided to go with award stamp, and I picked The Flywheel by Erin Gout. It was shortlisted for the Children's Book of the Year award. The next question is one that I couldn't really answer because it was like, do you have a book by an author with the same initials as you? And I do not. It's really sad because I went through Rebecca, which is my actual name, so RS, which are my initials, didn't have it. BS, which I know that's very unfortunate initials. My nickname, Becky, but no, didn't have that. I went through Gem, JS, didn't have that either. And I'm pretty sure there are authors with those initials out there, but not ones that I own. The next question is, do you have a book between 500 and 510 pages? And I do. It's Percy Jackson. Well, it's not Percy Jackson, but it is Percy Jackson on the cover. It is Heroes of Olympus by Rick Riordan, Son of Neptune. It does go over by 3 pages, so it's 513 pages, but it was the closest that I could get without going completely over. The next one is, do you have a book that was turned into a movie? And I feel like it's very similar to the TV show one. Like, there's heaps of books that have been turned into TV shows and movies, but I went with ones that I kind of like haven't seen, or well, with American Gods I haven't seen it, but I went with this one with like my all-time favorite book, which is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. The movie could have been a lot better, I think, but you know what, it's okay. It's like the Harry Potter movies. They're just like, they're okay, but they don't beat the books. Nothing beats the book. The next question is, do you have a graphic novel? And I'm gonna pick my favorite graphic novel series, which is Lumberjanes. So good, the art is so pretty, and the story is fucking weird but magnificent at the same time. And I've ranted about this on my channel before, but it's like a good rant. But I love Lumberjanes, and if you hadn't read it, you should read it because it's super good. And the last question in this challenge is, do you have a book written by 2 or more authors? And so I decided to go all out with Meet Cute, but by a bunch of different authors. This is one of my favorite books ever. That's like kind of like really collaborated. It's so unique, and like you can just like jump in and out of it because like the story is like so, like each of the stories is so different. They're not connected at all, and I really love it. It took some of my soul when I finished it though. There were some really good stories in there. Like there was a NASA one. That one actually killed me. I think it was my favorite, but I died and was resurrected. Okay. Anyway guys, that's all I've got for you today. Please like, subscribe, because that is always nice, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.